Hi everyone, welcome back to Baka Bitches. We are two 30-something-year-olds who love to drink and talk about anime. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Hannah to quickly go through our anime disclaimers.
Yes, because you'll need them just in case you don't want sensitive ears listening. But yeah, this is fair warning, a podcast that we're going to be talking about there's going to be language, there's going to be cursing because we're drinking, there's going to be drinks. So
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
What kind of fucking language is happening in
this
here?
This is bullshit. I know.
It's a family show.
So sorry.
Please don't watch this with your family.
Yeah, don't do it.
Watch it in private.
With the door closed and locked. But yeah, so there's going to be language. There's probably going to be some sexy talk in here.
Some adult themes.
Definitely a lot of adult themes. And that ranges
references
from,
to sexuality.
Yes, sexy sex time and daddies. Lots of daddies.
So many daddies. All the daddies with an I-E-S. Daddies.
Daddies.
Probably some dark elements. Some things that might be uncomfortable. Death.
Sex, violence, drug use.
Mm-hmm. Heavy themes.
We're gonna talk about it all. So if you're a little sensitive about those subjects, please just be aware that it's to your discretion, and don't come at us for watching in dub. Okay?
Mostly don't come at us for that because we are Baka Bitches and we are not reading subtitles.
We are not. Maybe on our own time, but this is podcast time, and we gotta go with the English. We gotta go with the English so we absorb it all.
Enjoy, guys.
Enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to Baka Bitches. We are two 30-something-year-olds who love to drink and talk about anime.
Anime!
I'm Hannah.
I'm Stephanie.
And tonight's episode is, it's a thing. It's a thing. We are on episode 11, in case you didn't know. And it's called Terror of the Ancient No Mask, and that's N-O-H, which is, I don't know, it's a name of a thing in Japan. But it's not like a no like N-O, or no as in N, or like K-N-O-W.
Oh.
It's not like that. It's just N-O-H, no mask. And before I forget, and I'm not breaking tradition, we have a drink in front of us. It's
true. I don't know what this drink is.
I don't know either.
It's a little brownish.
It's like mauve-y.
It's a little pinkish.
It's a little, it's a thing.
It's the right color for Thanksgiving coming up.
It is. It's very fall-like.
It is very fall in color.
So I made I made this drink, you guys.
Hannah's an excellent barista.
I am not.
Cocktail mixer.
Whoever keeps putting me in charge of making drinks should be fired.
Here's the thing. The color of it was so reminiscent of the au jus for the beef dip that we ate. I thought she might have put a little bit of au jus in this
you
drink,
don't know.
guys.
I might have.
I'm not mad at it.
For the color.
It's delicious. It's got depth of flavor. It's got some umami in it.
Yeah, there is. It's like, it's not sweet at all. Really.
So in case someone wants to replicate this, Hannah, what should they add?
Au jus sauce.
Perfect. Straight up Lari's au jus seasoning packet for the win.
No, okay. So here's what I did, you guys. I did 2 shots of gin each.
Oh.
Each, yeah.
It doesn't taste like it.
It really doesn't. It did before, because I like kept tasting a little bit throughout, and I was like, ugh, that's too strong. Because originally I did the 2 shots of gin, lime juice is in there, naturally, because
Of course.
we must fend off the scurvy
Of
that we are
course.
so prone to.
We don't want that.
We do not. And then I added the splashiest of splash, and by that I mean like not that much of a splash, of curacao. Just to give it some color. I'm like, okay, that's blue. And then I was like, like, you already did a blue drink beforehand, and I didn't want to copy you. So then I was like, oh, you have some grenadine. So I did a little splash of that in there. And that's how we got the color, really, is kind of a mix of like the lime juice, the curacao, and the grenadine. And then I topped it off with like this hard guava cider thing. And that's it. And then you have your like mauvey brown.
Your mauvey brown Hannah fall drink.
Yeah. I don't know what to call this. The Aya drink.
Awesome.
Because that is what my father calls au jus.
Oh.
He calls it Aya sauce.
Okay. The more you know.
I don't know. That's just, it's what he do. But anyways, that's the drink for now, and we'll get back to the episode. We have a total of 3 full sentences to describe this episode from the
I don't know
wiki.
how we're going to have time to get through that, though.
I know, it's a lot.
So robust in detail.
Yeah, it's like reading a whole book.
Okay. Well, let's start now.
We'll do it now. All right, and it goes... Kagome returns to the present and return to school. I read that verbatim. So there you go.
Nailed it.
Kagome's grandfather is attacked by an ancient no mask when it breaks the talismans, in which he is admitted to a hospital. Who wrote this? I have to go back in here, right?
You could be the Wikipedia author.
I really should, but I don't know if I want to wear that title.
It is a lot.
It is. The No Mask attempts to gain a body of its own. Kagome confronts the No Mask, and her brother Sota summons Inuyasha from the well. So there you guys go. Like, that's it. That's the wiki for you. So yet again, we'll just have to go in to detail and give all of the color. So we open the scene with Kagome looking around. She's on her bike and she's like, oh, everything's quiet. Everything's good to go. And she starts, taking off on her bike.
Yeah, she's pedaling.
She's pedaling as fast as her little leggies can pedal.
Indeed.
And she's heading towards the well. And, you know, she's on her bike. She's got her backpack all stuffed to the brim, like, behind her. And she's like, coast is clear. I'm going to go for it. She starts pedaling for it. She starts going. And all of a sudden, Inuyasha's like, where do you think you're going? And
So controlling.
So
I love that.
Controlling. Just a man stalking his woman or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And he like does his like super half demon run thing or jumpy thing. I don't know. He's fast. He's doing the fast thing. And he stands in front of the well before she can even get there, making her stop riding her bike. And she's like, bro, I know that you don't get this, but I've got a test in 3 days that I've got to study for in my world. And naturally, Inuyasha doesn't care at all. And he's like, that's not as important as finding the Shikon jewel shards. And Kagome's just like, no, but really, it's really important that I take this test and pass. I've missed so much school. I can't just be here all the time. And I guess that's kind of fair. But if I were a 15-year-old in that position, I'd be like, bye, modern world. I'm forever. I'd visit my parents and stuff, but like...
And stock up on snacks.
Yeah, snacks. Like, go back for the essentials.
Yeah,
right?
clearly.
But like, overall, like, I'm not there for any of that. What's a job? My job is being a reincarnation of a fallen priestess.
That is a huge responsibility.
It is. And someone's got to do it. I guess it's me.
Yeah. I love being surrounded by cute boys.
Yeah.
Please.
Half demon, full demon, all the demons.
Yeah.
It's fine, yeah. It works for me. So anyway, she's protesting. Inuyasha's like, nah, girl, you cannot go. And starts to, like, pick up the biggest boulder he can find. And was lifting it up to more or less put it over the well and block her. And Kagome is just like, no, you can't do this. And proceeds to use her magic.
Her sit dog.
Oh, yeah.
Her sit dog.
sit. And he just gets ever so closer to the ground with the boulder. Ends up going face down into the dirt and the boulder on top of his back. And Kagome just yeets herself into the well and goes back to modern era while leaving Inuyasha there under a boulder, which, I mean, you know, fair, I guess. Because you gotta, like, give it to him sometimes. It's his own fault.
Mm-hmm.
So she ends up getting back there safely, just in time for her grandfather to, I guess he's doing a ceremonial thing. I assume to wish Kagome to come back, and this ceremonial thing, I guess you have to dump a bucket of sake down the well, and what a waste of sake. But okay, fair, I guess. But Kagome gets drenched in sake.
Sexy.
So early in the morning when she's trying to do the school thing. And Sota was there saying, oh, come on, Gramps, that's enough. And the ceremony, quote unquote, works because Kagome's back and she's yelling at them from the well, like, you guys, I'm soaked in sake, I need to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And Grandpa and Sota are just arguing with each other about, I don't know, something about careers, and Grandpa wanting Sota to take over the family business, which is taking care of the shrine. And Sota's like, no, I want to be a soccer player. Grandpa's like, well, no, don't do that. That's a stupid career. And then Sota's like, yeah, but Mom wants me to be a doctor. And Grandpa goes, okay, yeah, you could be a doctor, but on the weekends. But you're mostly going to be taking care of the shrine. So, you know, Sota's life is all figured out now. And Kagome is still at the bottom of the well. So that's cool. Just leaving your granddaughter there. It's fine. She's not just chopped meat. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so Kagome does eventually get out. I guess they do help her out, and she goes to school. And all of her friends are so excited to see her again. And they're like, oh my gosh, Kagome, it's so good to see you here and that you're feeling better enough to be at school. And they're just listing off all of these things that have been excuses for her not to be at school in. Like, I don't know. There was mention of falling out of bed and hurting her back. There was, I can't remember. There was gout. There was bunions. Even.
Cat bite. Case of ringworm.
Bite.
broken back from falling. Trust me, Hannah, that's the only things that I wrote down.
Because they were the most interesting of this
Yes.
episode.
No, I got you. I have all the things listed.
I'm so glad.
Don't forget for the bunion on your foot. Here's some cute slippers from my mom.
Yeah. Like, truly.
This is my time to shine. I have the notes.
Grandpa over here telling the school that Kagome has all of his ailments, not anything a 15-year-old girl would probably ever have. But here we are, and the cute boy at school rides up on his bike, says, "Oh my gosh, Kagome, it's good to see you. Glad, the bunions and the gout haven't killed you yet," more or less. And he's the one that delivers the present with the really cute bunion sandals. They have sunflowers on them, so I guess that counts for something. But so she has full-on embarrassment and is like mentally probably kicking her grandpa for mentioning something that an 80-year-old person would have. But everyone else seems like kind of cool with it, I guess. They're just like, "Oh, that sucks to be you, but glad to see you here." And a cute boy on a bike rides off, probably to go park his bike. And all of Kagome's friends are like, "Oh my gosh, the cutest boy in school. Like, he must really like you." And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, he probably does, because I don't know what 15-year-old boy would just be like straight up like, 'How's your gout?' Unless they liked her."
It was really
Right?
cute the way the way he came over on his bike so cheerful, like, "Hey, I got a thing for you, girl.
Yeah.
Hey, I got the solution to all your problems,
Right here.
girl."
I wonder how long he's been carrying those sandals with him.
It was very sweet. So it seemed like it was gonna be more like that he had missed her,
Yeah.
he was looking forward to seeing her, but it was just like, "Hey, my mom wrapped this thing up for you.
Hope you like pink.
For your bunion." And then he just said the word bunion 5 times.
And so cheerfully, too.
Just to
and loud.
nail the coffin shut. It was just awful. I was cringing from secondhand embarrassment.
You guys should have seen Stephanie. She
I was
had
melted onto the couch.
face in her hands and everything.
Could not.
It was funny.
It's pretty bad.
And I guess I've seen this enough where I'm like, yeah, that happens, I guess. But it was great seeing your reaction to it, because you're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Just reverting back to 15, 16-year-old girl us and dying inside. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so he rides off on his merry way.
Yeah.
And she does the school thing. We don't see any of that, though. But as she's walking, or we really, before that, I mean, I'm sure she's walking around in school, but so pretend she's walking around in school doing things.
Pretend she has legs and she can move about the cabin.
And she's using them like normal people do, even though she has chronic bunions.
And excessively long leg syndrome, because she's an anime character.
Exactly.
But we're not going to talk about that.
No, that's not important. What is important is the fact that during her school day, we cut back to the shrine.
Yeah, grandfather.
Grandpa.
Yeah, grandpapa.
Doing his shriney things.
Yeah,
his
grandpapa doing grandpapa things.
Grandpapa. Yeah, he's taking care of the temple and all of that. And he
poured more sake all over the place.
Yeah, because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And he sees some billowing smoke on the property. He's like, "Ugh." And it turns out that it's coming from the storage house. And so he runs over there and he's like, "Holy crap, the storage house is on fire." And starts, I don't know, he finds a small bucket of water or something. Same bucket thing I think he had the sake with earlier. Anyways, he goes into the storage house as it's on fire and proceeds to panic. Very, so smart. I mean, I'm sure that there's some relics and very fancy special things in there, but like, just let it burn.
It's not greater than being dead, but no, okay.
Yeah, like let's not make this a tragedy, Grandpa.
That's cool.
You know, but he goes in there, sees like one specific box that's on the shelf, and sees that the talismans that were sealing whatever was in the box start to go up in flame, quite literally. And it opens. The box opens. And he's like, oh no. The no mask. Mm-hmm. And the mask more or less comes to life. It jumps out of the box and is just
like, I need a body to inhabit.
Right.
That's exactly how it happened, you guys.
Yeah.
And then the mask was like, give me a body.
I need a body.
And then like floated into something that was reminiscent of a body, but was not a real body.
Right. It was like,
it only looked like a body.
A very like strategically posed like suit of samurai armor.
Yeah.
And it's like, body, but it wasn't, because there's no ligaments.
And then the mask was like, I spit on thee. I do not want a stupid body, not body. I need a real body. I need a hero.
Body. Holding out for a human body till you.
Hell yeah. And then it like looks over suspect at Grandpapa.
Right. And Grandpapa's like, no.
Not me.
Like, and like the kind of the running joke with everything was like, this no mask comes to life, right?
Yeah.
And is just like, at first it's like, I need a body. I need a body.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, clear, get it, fam.
Yeah.
And then it proceeds to get more detailed. I need a human body.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't specific to begin with, but I'm glad we got there.
It really wasn't, but like, okay, you can do that. And then it's like, I need a living human body. And we're like, geez, like how much, like the list keeps growing. Like, please.
What do you have to offer in return, huh?
It needs to be 6 foot tall. It needs to have brown hair. It needs
abs for days.
I need Jason Momoa.
Oh, Hannah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You know, so like the most neediest of no masks starts floating around.
Most neediest.
Truly.
It's just an everyday occurrence in Japan. No mask just coming to life out of nowhere.
At least once a month.
Yeah.
At least. So it's trying to get at Grandpa, but Grandpa's like, no, I'm not doing it, fam. And the no mask does end up escaping through, because the firefighters were called in, which makes sense, checks out. Storage place was on fire. Grandpa was more or less fighting the mask off from getting and possessing him. So the firefighters arrive. Grandpa's passed out. We don't see this part, but Grandpa is passed out because smoke inhalation, stuff like that.
I thought it was because he was a little bitch.
That too. You know, but if he was, you know, in his prime, it'd be a different story, right?
Of course, I would hope.
Yeah.
Fight it off like a real man.
Yeah. Physically, with his fists.
Sexy.
But, so he's passed out from smoke inhalation. The firefighters get there, able to put the fire out, get Grandpa to the hospital. And that's when Kagome is walking home. Hears two strange dudes talking like, hey, did you hear the shrine nearby? I mean, they said the name of the shrine, but I can't remember it, so fuck it.
I didn't write it down either.
The family shrine.
Okay.
Is on fire. You want to check it out? Yeah, cool. Like, these guys, like, they just want carnage, right?
Of course.
Typical guy, I guess. You know, I don't know.
I'm here for a good carnage.
Fair. Depending. I'm very specific about my carnage.
Okay. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah. I'll tell you later. Off mic. So they run off, and Kagome's like, oh shit, that's my shrine. And she starts running, sees the entrance to the shrine surrounded, firefighter trucks, police, ambulance, blah blah blah, hoses going all the way up those stairs. And if you know anything about shrines in Japan, usually there's like 1 million stairs that you have to climb to get to these shrines.
Truly.
So like
that's how they all stay so skinny in Japan.
Yeah, they walk everywhere. They run upstairs all the time. Like, yeah, they're doing something right about that, I guess. So Kagome gets up there, sees her mom, and is like, oh my gosh, Mom, what happened? Everything's fine. You're, like, the storage house got caught on fire somehow, and your grandpa was there. He had to go to the hospital because he has some smoke inhalation, but he's going to be okay. The hospital said that he just needs to stay there to recover for 2 or 3 days. Okay. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, thank goodness. And oh, wait, I think I missed a part. At some point, firefighters were in the storage room, right?
I didn't put those in my notes, but yes.
Yeah. Just believe me. Come along to this. I got this. The firefighters in there making sure everything's clear. Mm-hmm. You know, water's everywhere, and there's this hole in the floor, and
gap,
a little gappy gap, and there's like flooding underneath the floor, and one of the firefighters who's there is just like, huh, what's that? And he's just like looking down in the hole, as one does.
I love to look straight into a good hole.
Same. Especially if it's really moist in there.
And gappy. Good moist gappy hole for my retinas to just pierce into.
I love a hole that's just dripping, you know?
Yeah. The moister, the better.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Easier to get in and out of.
I do feel like that's the case.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he spots something in the flooding underneath, and he's like, oh, what's that? And the no mask comes from the depths of the hole.
The gap.
Yeah, the gap.
It just straight up comes out of the gap.
And it's just like, I need a body. Like, typical needy ass bitch. And
yeah, because, you know, the first body was not body enough. The samurai, not body.
Could not do the thing.
But, I mean, it wasn't specific. And now we're getting a little more specific.
Yeah. And it immediately attaches to the firefighter's face.
Yeah.
And like
it's a good face to attach to.
Yeah, you know what? Solid. Not Jason Momoa, but it is what it is.
Let's stop bringing him up because he doesn't have any place in this right now.
Oh, okay.
He's so much better than this anime.
Hey, Inuyasha is a classic. So, firefighter can't take it off, and all of a sudden, like, his body just turns into like a black sludgy slime thing, and the mask is like, oh, the body's already melted, and like it's just,
I hate when bodies disintegrate on me.
Yeah, same. I feel that.
I feel like my body's just giantly just like a pile of sludge. It's like, yeah, and like, I'm like, no, keep it together.
Why does it hurt?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it, Masky Mask.
Same.
I get it.
I do. I also need a body.
Same.
That's Jason Momoa.
Stop! That is my body. I already committed to that body. That one is mine, Hannah. You can pick any other body on the planet.
I know.
Guys,
I just have to give
she's
you a
trying
bad
to steal
time.
my body. I have a body. I only have one.
No, it's yours. I just have to. I just
No.
have to give you a hard time.
No.
I just have to give you a hard time.
I want something hard, but not that.
Same. So, anyways, No Mess takes over this firefighter, proceeds to be like, oh, body melting already, oh no. And then proceeds to, like, do stretchy things and touch every other human that is there.
That is something I would do with Jason Momoa.
Fair.
Okay.
Valid.
Understood. Why this would happen.
I'm getting flustered. So
I'm not. I'm just getting turned on.
I should drink some more. So every time the No Mask hits, like, or touches some other body, like, they, like, more or less get kind of absorbed and, like, also melty.
Right.
And, like, turns into this big goopy thing.
Yes, it was literally a hot Jabba the Hutt mess.
Yeah, like,
It was pretty horrific. I didn't enjoy viewing it.
was not as pleasurable as it could be.
It was not for her viewing pleasure at all.
No, it was not. It
not
was
here
not
for that.
meant for us, really.
At what point was Kagome like, Sota, go get Inuyasha?
Every time.
Okay.
Like,
Because that's the
poor
only
kid.
other part I wrote down.
This poor
and I
kid.
feel like I have to bring it up because I have to contribute to what we're talking about.
Okay.
To prove to Hannah that I'm following.
I believe
I'm
you. I
following.
believe you.
I wrote 2 notes. This was one of them.
To be fair, the whole episode was some kind of, like, bad trip, you know?
Well, great. Now I feel a lot less bad then.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite episodes. It's not very memorable. But so that's happening. Kagome's mom is at the hospital to be with Grandpa. And Kagome has to wait there for Sota, her brother. And the No Mask thing is wreaking havoc on the other side of the property, so they don't really know what's going on. And the No Mask at this point is, like, jumping, like, it's jumped down to the road, more or less, and gets into one of the fire trucks and starts driving it, because apparently ancient things that have been locked away for centuries all of a sudden know how to drive. It's cool.
Of
it's
course
fine.
they do.
Logic. But it starts driving around and just wreaking havoc. Gets on the news like, oh, there's a rogue fire truck just ramming into things in the city. It's cool. And Sota's home by that point. It's fine. And Kagome is just like, we have to stay here, you know. I've got to study. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so she's in her room doing the study thing that she said she is going to do. Good for her, being a studious student. And that's when No Mask comes back and starts, like, is driving this fire truck, but not only driving the fire truck, but proceeds to get up onto the extendable ladder thing and in the bucket and, like, rams the bucket, like, right into Kagome's room, like, literally breaks the wall down and is just like, oh, I found you, I need a body. And really what it's after is it senses the Shikon jewels. Spoiler alert.
I didn't
Shocking.
know that this would be about the Shikon jewels. That's
You
news
didn't?
to me.
Yeah, that I know. It's really shocking when that happens. Because personally, it's really not about the Shikon jewels. It's about hot demon daddies.
Okay. You have my attention.
I know, there unfortunately really
I
wasn't
haven't looked
any
up
of
a
that.
single time we've been talking until now. Just kidding.
I know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this episode didn't have it. But anyways, the little masky thing sees the jar and is like, Shikon jewels! And that's when Kagome sees that it has a shard in the mask. And she's like, oh, that makes so much sense now. And she takes the tiny little jar thing that has a few of the Shikon jewel pieces in it and starts running, takes Sota with her, and Sota's like, what is happening? And she's like, we gotta get out of here. We've gotta get it away. And so instead of, like, falling into the well, like...
She falls into the pit of despair.
Because she's a stupid
Bitch.
girl.
Oh.
Bitch, too.
I was like, she should join
but
us for our next
really-
podcast.
Yeah, come over here. Come Baka away with us.
Yes.
No, like, seriously, that would be my logic if I were Kagome.
Sure.
Where it's like, I'm gonna make sure Sota is on the far end of the property while I go and lead it into the well, because it's obviously going to be able to go through.
Yes.
Kind of like the centipede lady.
Oh, that was sexy.
That really was. There was...
I love a good
So
amount
many-
of arms for the foreplay.
Yeah.
Tickle
what could
me.
all of those finkies do?
We don't know. Let's find out.
But no, instead we get a sledge monster. But that's what I would do. I would lead it into the well, go to the feudal area, like have Inuyasha do the slashy thing. But no, instead she's like, Sota, you go fall down the well and get Inuyasha. And he's like, I don't think I could do that.
Like the brother from Ghost Stories.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah. I think about that so often.
Same. I am the brother from
I
Ghost Stories.
literally, yes. That is truth.
And so he's like, okay, I'll try. And he runs and jumps down the well, hits his damn face into the floor, because naturally he wouldn't be able to go through to feudal Japan because he is not a reincarnation of a priestess. And luckily, Inuyasha just so happens to appear like 2 seconds later at the bottom of the well. Because convenience and plot, I guess.
Oh.
Because
Because of hashtag anime.
yeah, because hashtag anime. He
Right.
just knew that centuries into the future, Kagome was calling for him.
Yes.
Or something. I
Makes
don't know.
sense.
And so he gets over there and starts to try and fight this thing. They have a tussle. And every time, like, they're going into the city because now they're not even at the shrine anymore. They are at, like, this construction zone building that's being built, obviously. And they're a few stories up. And Inuyasha's still trying to figure out how to tussle this thing, like, fight it and whatever. And the mask somehow at some point like gets into like a backstory. It like has time to just like they're just allowing this thing to talk.
Of course.
And it's like, I was a tree once and someone made a mask out of me, and like a Shikon shard was buried into my wood.
Sexy.
And they carved a mask out of it. And all I did was crave flesh and blood. And
that was the other thing in my note, was that exact statement.
Yeah, it's very dramatic. I'm like, how? Anyways, doesn't matter. What matters is that they're like cool story fam.
But also that be a no-no.
But like, maybe don't.
That's no-no. Don't do that.
We can't let you get away with that.
Right.
But yet again, like during this fight, it's the mask is like trying to get at Kagome because she has the jewels, and Kagome throws Sota the bottle and is like, "Run with the Shikon jewels," because clearly the mask would never go for Sota, who has the Shikon jewels, and it does. Spoiler alert, it does.
Damn.
And at that point,
shocker.
As it's chasing Sota to the edge of the building, Inuyasha comes in clutch and just like does a one cut, and the mask just like dies, I guess you could say. Like disintegrates, does the thing, leaves the Shikon jewel there, so I guess they have another piece, so good for them.
Yes.
And the sun rises, and Kagome's like, wow, Inuyasha looks really cool. And then proceeds to be like,
shake it off, girl.
Shake it off. You have more important things, like tests that you didn't study for.
Truth.
And so she's like, shit, I didn't study for any of this. I've got to go. And proceeds to run down the construction site. And I guess goes to her now gaping hole of a room to get changed and run to class. And that's
hot.
That's how it ends. Very hot. Very... I don't know. This was not one of my favorite episodes. But it is what it is.
Baka bye!